time for the funny cars at the U.S. Nationals. Our first pair here in round number 2, we find Jim Head racing against John Force, whose crew chief Austin Coyle did a masterful job in getting this car ready to race Jim Head. Qualifying in the 15th spot, Jim Head is the defending champion. He beat Tom Hoover in round number 1, while John Force, you saw him explode that supercharger, qualified in the number 3 position. One of the keys to the 2,500 horsepower plus of these nitro-burning engines is that supercharger. Earlier, Steve took a look.
Here, bolted to a handy stand on the door of Darrell Gwynn's trailer, is the heart and soul of these nitro-burning engines, be they top fuel dragsters or funny cars. Virtually everybody has the same cylinder block and pistons and rods and camshafts and crankshafts, but above that, everybody has a different combination. The fuel injector here, air rushes in the front, bolted to this 1471 supercharger. The rotors whirling inside at about 50% the speed of the engine, or twice the speed of the engine. The blower bolted to the manifold. Now, the fuel comes up from the pump, also another important part of the system, into the fuel system, where it's distributed in a maze of lines and nozzles, all of which can be changed to tune the engine. Now, every racer hopes that he's got some secret in his fuel system they don't share much knowledge about this part of the engine. Everybody trying to get the advantage here.
And Steve, as we've seen, if something major goes wrong, it's generally in the supercharger. Off the starting line goes John Force, up in smoke, the defending champion, and John Force, the performance back. Regardless of what happened in the previous round, John Force serves notice. 5.79 seconds, 246 miles an hour. He tells his competition, just disregard that supercharger explosion. Back at the starting line, the next pair of cars getting ready to go. The body coming down on the car driven by Rick Johnson and owned by Roland Leong. After nearly 2 decades in the sport of championship drag racing, Roland Leong has got quite a season to his credit. That season is capped by the quickest elapsed time ever in funny car history, recorded at the Winter Nationals at Pomona, California, and seen on Diamond V Sports as Rick Johnson notched a 5.58 second elapsed time in the quickest side-by-side race in history. Johnson beat Kenny Bernstein in that race, but here at the Nationals, he's matched against little John Lombardo driving for Raymond Beadle. Let's go to Steve with John Force.
Seldom does any competitor come back after a disastrous blower explosion with a 574 and a patched-up race car.
Got a real good race team. Coyle's got them guys busting their backs, and got to thank a Chi-Town team came over, and that takes a lot for another team come over there and help you, and they did, and she came. What'd she run?
574 with a great hole shot to boot.
Dog it, she come right back again. My old boy's good. Just got to make enough money, keep him on the payroll.
Steve, you gave him about 0.05 of a second too much. John actually ran a 579, but there's no shame in that, as his crew chief Austin Coyle and the crew did their job. Here on the starting line, it's little John Lombardo at the wheel of the Blue Max. Since Lombardo took over the driving chores for Raymond Beadle, he has had a trouble-plagued season. Yet to win a national event, John Lombardo qualified 8th here with a fine 5.74 seconds. For Rick Johnson, a number 4 qualifying spot at 5.72 seconds. Both cars evenly matched. There's some problems, apparently, with Roland Leong. You see him going under the car. He is reaching for the fuel system, giving the word to shut it off. Starter Buster Couch says no, let him take it to the line. And Rick Johnson, following the directions of Starter Buster Couch, heads to the starting line to race against little John Lombardo. The crew intently watching the Christmas tree starting device as both drivers creep into those staging beams. A green light start, and it is John Lombardo out in front. Rick Johnson valiantly trying to hold on, but to the finish line first by several car lengths. Another 5.77 second elapsed time. Very consistent is Lombardo, and very disappointed is Roland Leong. Going over to talk to Buster Couch, Roland Leong receives the condolences and knows there will be another day for he and his driver, Rick Johnson. This is Ed the Ace McCulloch driving for car owner Larry Miner. Early in his career, McCulloch recorded 2 back-to-back U.S. Nationals titles in funny car back in 1971 and 72. He won again this championship title in 1980. McCulloch will be racing against one of the hottest cars on the circuit this season. This is the Buick Somerset-bodied car of Dale Pulde. As Pulde gets ready to do his burnout, let's go down to Steve Evans with Rick Johnson.
Well, oftentimes in the starting line, the driver is the last to know what the problem was. Rick, do you have any idea?
No, the throttle stuck way up for some reason on the smoky burnout. They told me to shut it off. Well, I couldn't shut it off, not this far along. I still don't see what's wrong. For some reason, the motor was just idling about 2,000 RPMs too fast. And I tried to leave with him and had a fairly close race score, and then the motor went away in the middle, so I just turned it off.
With the RPMs up that high, it can be hard to hold him with the brake as well.
Well, I had to use the clutch pedal and stuff to keep it up there, and thought maybe I could squirt out on him there pretty good with the motor up. And did the best I could. I just couldn't win.
Sure did.
Thanks, Steve.
A disappointing day for Rick Johnson, the quickest driver in all of funny car racing. On the starting line, Dale Pulde completing his burnout procedure. It's been quite a day thus far for the Pulde and Hamby team. They qualified in the number 9 spot, and in the first round upset the number 1 qualifier, Tom McEwen. His competition, Ed McCulloch, qualified 13th, 5.82 seconds, defeating Paul Smith in round number 1. Pulde will be in the far lane in the Buick. In the Oldsmobile in the near lane, it is Ed McCulloch. Both cars into the staging beams. An equal start. A little bit of smoke off of Pulde's tires. McCulloch heads towards the guardrail, and it is a great victory for Dale Pulde. Smoking out some pistons, burning an engine possibly at the finish. Dale Pulde pulls out a win by just a couple of 3 feet. As we look again, you see both cars leaving the starting line as if they were one. But in reality, Dale Pulde was 0.03 of a second quicker off the starting line. Pulde's tires started to smoke, indicating a loss of traction. He recovered nicely, though, and at the finish line, the margin of difference was only 0.02 of a second. McCulloch the quicker. It was Pulde's starting line reactions that won the race.
It looked like it wanted to smoke the tires.
It tried everything it could to smoke the tires and stuff, and we've been having that trouble here all week, and this car usually never shakes or anything, and it's doing it here all weekend long. So we've got a little problem. We just got to figure it out.
You'll do it.
Thank you.
Dale Pulde advancing to the semifinals of Funny Car Eliminator. Back in the Garland's pit area, the engine now together. The final touches by the master himself. We'll be coming right back with more funny car action from the U.S. Nationals. Back at the U.S. Nationals, I'm Dave McClelland along with Steve Evans, and we're in Little John Lombardo's pit area. He has yet to find out who his competition will be in the semifinal round as our final pair of funny cars in this round of racing are approaching the burnout area. It is Kenny Bernstein, the man that has dominated racing throughout all of this season and has been the talk of competition here at the Nationals. Bernstein is racing one of the greats in this sport, Don Prudhomme. Winning the World Championship title 4 times, Don Prudhomme has an enviable record here at the Nationals. He's won the Funny Car Crown 3 times and the Top Fuel Crown twice, dating as far back as 1969. But this season, it's Kenny Bernstein, winner of 5 events thus far throughout 1985, and a virtual lock on that World Championship. Don Prudhomme qualified in the number 6 spot, regaining the performance level he has reached in years past, while Kenny Bernstein qualified second with a 5.69 seconds, defeating Tim Gross in the first round. Bernstein getting directions from his crew chief, Dale Armstrong. The final check of Prudhomme's car by his crew, headed by Bob Brandt. Bernstein in the far lane, Prudhomme in the near lane. And it is Bernstein off the mark first. At the finish line by several car lengths, Kenny Bernstein continues to extend his win streak. 5.70 seconds at 256 miles an hour. So in the semifinals, it'll be Bernstein against Lombardo, with Kenny having the lane choice. John Force goes against Dale Pulde, and John Force has the lane choice there.